All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise to Yahweh, by Shimon Shai, by Shimon Kakodash. Double honors to the Apostle of the Great Millstone. That's who's honest to you brothers out there preaching this word of sincerity and truth. All right. When the serpent bites, man, you know. I got this article from Zero Hedge, and it's about a so-called black woman that got shot yesterday, I believe, in Columbus. I'm going to just read this article and get the scriptures. She was a child. White House decrees police shooting of knife-wielding black teen. While not entirely surprising to those that can't fog a mirror, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki's response to the police shooting of a knife-wielding black teen in Columbus suggests either she did not view the video or of the event, or the White House could not give two fucks about facts when there's racial division and anti-cop hatred narratives to sow. All right, which this is prophecy. Eve made a pact with the so-called white man, the serpent. Esau, so-called white man. He wasn't white back then during the garden, but he had that same wicked serpent spirit in him. And Eve, the so-called black woman, she made a covenant with the serpent. All right, because she wanted to basically rule over her man. All right, she's living out her rulership right now here in America. All right, but now the serpent has bit her. All right. She was charming the serpent, but hey, the serpent bit her ass, man. All right. And this is not going to be the last story where a so-called black woman get gunned down by the police. All right. Specifically, Psaki called the fatal police shooting of the teenage girl tragic and said that President Biden has been briefed on the matter. The killing of 16-year-old Makia Bryant by Columbus police is tragic. She was a child. No, she wasn't a child. She was a full-fledged woman. All right. According to the Bible, once a boy and a girl has well, in this case, once a female has a period, usually at the age of 11, 12, she's considered a woman. All right. Also, a man child, 12 years old, he's considered a man. That's according to nature, right? So, 16, she's a woman. All right, she's not a child anymore. We are thinking of her friends and family and the communities that are grieving her loss, Psaki said at the briefing when asked whether Biden had been briefed on the shooting, replying in the affirmative. There's a video, but I don't know how to play it. I already seen the video. Then Psaki piled on, noting that Makia's death came amid a moment of hope for progress in fighting racism and policing. We know that the police violence disproportionately impacts Black and Latino communities, and that black women and girls, like black men and boys, experience higher rates of police violence. All right, because you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're the Israelites. All police. The police is basically slave corrallers, all right, slave oppressors, all right. Because back in 200-300 years ago, you know, the police were basically they caught runaway slaves, all right, and brought them back to their masters, their specific plantation, all right. So, the same spirit is always been in the police force, all right. We also know that there are particular vulnerabilities that children in foster care like Micaiah face. Saki says Biden has been briefed on the daily police shooting of 60-year-old Micaiah Bryant in Columbus, Ohio, which happened minutes before the Chauvin verdict was announced. She says the shooting is a tragedy that happened just as America was hopeful of a step forward. Even Columbus Mayor Andrew Githner, a Democrat, understood the context, saying that at a news conference, "We know based on the footage, the officer took action to protect another girl in our community, but a family is grieving tonight." Yeah, supposedly, this woman, Micaiah, she had a knife. She was fighting with the other girl, and the police came, and the officer shot her before she could stab the other girl. All right, and that's the narrative that's floating around. The police cam footage is, I didn't see no knife, but the police cam footage is kind of like it's not vivid enough to see a knife at the video I seen, but whatever. It's the serpent bit Eve, man. All right, Esau is not discriminating no more, man. Esau's blasting you black women too, man. So what? So you black women can't call it. You're gonna think twice about calling the cops now. All right. There's the serpent turning on you. There's the serpent biting you, man. All right, you made that pact with him. The serpent, he lied to you, man. All right, this is Sirach. Script Sirach 12. I'm gonna start at 10. Never trust thine enemy. Sirach 12 and 20. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right, and our top enemy is Esau, Edom. All right, which is the serpent. All right, and it was going back to the garden. All right, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast whitened a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee. All right, hey, the civil rights movement, you niggas trying to integrate with the so-called white man, with the serpent himself. The scriptures say, "Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place." All right, he's gonna overthrow you. He's gonna take what your ass got. All right, take everything you got, and he's gonna stand up in your place, man. Neither let him sit at thy right hand. See, that's what happened in the garden. Eve trusted in the serpent. Trusted in him. Leaned upon him. Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. to be pricked. Basically, with these sayings right here, never trust your enemy. Always let that be within your spirit of remembrance. All right, like like if somebody, like you prick, you get a splinter or some shit, and a piece of wood, or a piece of lead or something goes in your, get a splinter or some shit. That splinter just stays in there. All right. Always remember that, man. Be pricked with these sayings right here, man. This is wisdom. This is wisdom for you Israelites here, man. Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Esau is that serpent. And Micaiah, the late Micaiah, she got bitten by the serpent. All right. And I believe she the one that called the police. That's what's that's one of the narratives that was floating around too. I don't know if it says that here in the this article right here. Let's see. Let me read this part. Roughly 1 week after civilian Office of Police Accountability, Chicago released body camera footage depicting this is going in Chicago, so-called Latino young man was shot by the police not too long ago. Let's get back to this paragraph right here. In social media post, Bryant's mother described her daughter as a peaceful, loving little girl who had a motherly nature about her and promoted peace. And these niggas be lying, bro. Micaiah had a motherly nature about her. She promoted peace, said 16-year-old girl's mother. Well, she wasn't peaceful in that video. Well, her last few seconds before being shot, she wasn't peaceful. The shooting has already sparked protests in the city that threatened to spread nationwide. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations is conducting an independent probe of the shooting, according to Columbus Mayor Andrew Githner. I'll read this. As the team swings the weapon toward the second girl, the officer fires several shots, striking the teen. In the video, a black-handled blade resembling a kitchen knife can be seen in the video lying on the sidewalk next to the girl. Okay. So the other girl should be thanking that officer. Shit. The other girl would have got stabbed up. But hey, Esau is not he's not being light on you women no more, man. Especially you so-called black women. This is a good thing, man. All right. You Negro women that's trusted in the so-called white man to protect you. Hey, now he's just blowing your ass away, man. All right. Verse 13, who will, Sirach 12 and 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? All right. So, men of the Lord, we're not, we know what's up. We know the truth. We're not pitying. We're not feeling sad about this. All right. You're not feeling sad about this. This is a prophecy, man. The serpent turned on you. That's all. All right. And he's gonna turn on you with the harshness coming up here soon, man. This is gonna force you so-called Black, Latino, and Native American women to find a man to protect you. All right. because the cops ain't gonna care. All right, these men that's out here don't, that basically on the prowl for you women, literally, they ain't gonna care either. All right, and 911 ain't gonna work for you no more. So what you gonna do? Verse 14. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. All right. So yeah, the point is, who's gonna pity a charmer that's bitten with a serpent, man? All right. And this is gonna spark outrage, in you Jakes. All right. Isaiah 19 and 17. Let's see. Yep. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Judah, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Basically Judah is the head tribe of the nation of Israel, man. Once Judah start, bugging out, you so-called you natives, you so-called Latinos are gonna bug out too. All right. And Egypt is America. All right. Revelation 11 and 8. This place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right. That's America. Because you Israelites serve captivity over here. All right. Egypt means bondage, straits. Okay. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he has determined against it. All right. So the Lord's going to basically raise up so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans to go against, Esau, Edom, man. Police, politicians, because they're all in the same boat, But it said it was notified the president got to the White House, the story right here. They don't care, man. They're just damage controlling. It said Biden. Yep. Second Esdras chapter 15. We'll start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. This is all going to happen. This is here in America right here, man. All right. Great Babylon. All right. Primarily. But the world's going to go crazy too, man. But America's that focal point. All right. That all this hell is going to break loose. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's swords are guns. All right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. All right. So the kings are basically the politicians, the president, Secretary of State, that hierarchy. All right. You got the Congress, the Capitol building, the White House, Washington D.C. Those were the kings. All right. The princes, you can, the lower government officials, was going into the police. All right. To the police officers. All right. Nobody's not gonna regard the kings nor princes. All right. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right. A man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able. All right. And hey, it's gonna get so bad out here. Hey, Esau be like, hey, we gotta call up, the UN martial law troops, and they're gonna cordon off block these cities off, man. All right, shit. Portland, Oregon is 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 basically going crazy. All right. So yeah, man, it's going down, man. All right. Now, shootings like these, because you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, you're really soft on the women. All right, but hey, Esau don't give a fuck. He's blasting you women, man. And it's gonna make you Negro men, Negro, Latino, Native American men go crazy. All right. But hey, man, this is prophecy, man. That's all it is. And there's gonna be more killings, more police killing you jakes. All right. Until you jakes say fuck it, and just start retaliating against the police at a high level. All right. So yeah, this is all prophecy. That's all it was. If you really understand the prophecies. All right. So that's pretty much all I got. Lord was edifying. Shalom.